Welcome back, everybody. It's another episode of Bold Real Estate Investing. I'm your co-host, Chris Angel, here with your host, Bill Dean. Hello, sir.
Hello, how are you?
Good. I'm liking the beardish, shadowish thing going on here today.
Yeah, I don't know how much longer I'll keep it, but it's
you got to keep it going, man. Keep it going. I like it. It's burly. It's burly. It's bold, to quote the name of your show. Well, listen, today we're talking about stepping into multifamily investments. So there's a moment I would imagine where most investors start with single family. There's a moment where you're like, okay, I'm interested in multifamily. So what are the myths? What do I need to know about that transition?
Well, the first thing is to just overcome that number. Like, oh man, it's $800,000 for that multifamily, or
right?
1.4 million or $2 million.
Right.
It's actually not $2 million.
Okay. What do you mean?
Well, because it might cost $2 million, but what it actually takes to purchase, let's say a $2 million building, is much smaller.
Got it.
So,
because we're talking like 20% down payment or something. We're talking about down payments.
Exactly.
Is that what you mean?
Yep.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. So first of all, just, you're not paying $2 million cash. You can do that. That's fine. Kudos.
Right.
Give me a call.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, all reality is that, you just need to bring the down payment anywhere from 15 to 25%, depending on where you bank and how your finances are set up.
Okay.
So that knocks off 80% of that number right there.
Got it. So really on $2 million, we're looking at what, 400,000?
Yep.
Okay. As a 20% down payment.
Yep. And in my neck of the woods, just to clarify, multifamily is anything 5 units and larger.
Okay. Wait, what do you call 4 units and under?
Fourplex, triplex, duplex.
Oh, okay. So you don't call them multifamily. Got it. Okay. So five units or more. Got it. Okay.
Yep. Yeah. That's when you actually get into commercial, where you have to get a commercial loan to actually purchase these properties. They treat them more as a business loan than they do a property loan.
Got it. Okay.
So yeah, first thing is just getting over that initial number, because a lot of people, in my neck of the woods, we're spending 150 to 250 on your single family to duplex.
Right.
But all of a sudden you look at a eightplex and it's 800,000, and that's a scary number because it's so much bigger, but it really isn't that much bigger.
Got it. Okay. So that's good. There's a good mindset thing there.
Yeah. So that's the first thing to overcome, because a lot of people are just afraid of, oh man, I'm gonna have a loan out there for $800,000 or 600,000. But if you do it right, as investors, we know we're not actually paying that loan out of our pocket.
Right.
We have wonderful little tenants who are gonna clog toilets and put holes in walls, but they'll still pay that mortgage.
Right. Yeah. Nice.
That's not all tenants are like that. But we'll talk about that in another episode.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect.
So what happens a lot of times
is
when you're looking at multifamily, because single families up to fourplexes are fine, but it comes down to the economies of scale.
Okay.
What would you rather have? A vacant single family house or a vacant room in an eightplex? Which one's going to hurt more?
The single family is going to hurt more because there's no offsetting rent coming in.
Exactly.
Okay.
So when you get into multifamily, you have the protection of having more units. So
got it. Okay.
Yes, the mortgage might be $4,500 a month versus $1,200 on a single family, but you also have 8 people paying on it. So if 1 or 2 units are open at a time, you can still pay the mortgage.
Got it. Yeah, that's good. Actually, I just thought, can you do multifamily with 15-year mortgages or shorter terms?
Yep.
I was just thinking how cool, it's the same amount of time you'd have on the mortgage. But there's more people paying towards the down payment or towards the principal.
Exactly. Yeah. So versus a 30-year mortgage you can get on the single families up to 4s. In multifamily, they usually start on 15. And the furthest they'll go out is about 25 years.
Oh, okay. Got it.
But that's for the amortization. So they're still every 5 to 7 years going to redo that loan just to reflect current numbers, because that is such a large number. They don't fully amortize it in one loan. But
got it. All right.
But still, you should buy it with some protection, meaning don't pay top of the market and, loan up to the teeth. The goal is to have some equity in it. So when you do purchase it, you can ride some of those.
Yeah, that's so smart. I think it's okay. Well, I would imagine somebody who's buying a multifamily has been in the game for a while. Yes. I mean, it's not common to see somebody come in and buy multifamily op as their first investment, is it?
So there's
Oh
two
yeah.
schools of
Okay.
thought on that.
Okay.
So for most of us, we're going to start with what we're comfortable with, which is probably like our neighboring house or something in our block that we know
Right.
well. We know the numbers. There are some teachers, though, you can find who totally believe in 100% financial freedom through strictly apartment buildings.
Wow.
And so they'll train you on everything about
Mm.
apartments, and that's it. They don't dabble in trailer parks or storage units or
Mm.
commercial like stores. They just believe in apartments.
Got it. Okay.
So usually you're going to want a little more knowledge to get into an apartment building,
Right.
and have some more vetting, we'll call it, because
Mm.
you can still manage a multifamily yourself.
Right. Right.
But a lot of times, like let's say the picture behind you,
Yep.
you're probably going to have on-site professional management running it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Right.
So
of course.
that's where you need to know your numbers a little bit and be a little vetted.
I feel like you would have to go and you'd have to, I mean, there's school, you'd have to do some schooling, some education.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, you'd want some kind of life experience before just going solo on it. Like maybe you're partnering with, is it common to partner with people who have that experience? Or
Yes.
like if I provide money, other people provide the management and the operations of it, or what?
Yeah. So like a real simple version of this is just investing in REITs.
Right. Yeah. Sure. Yep.
So if they haven't heard of, if you don't know what that is, or they haven't heard of it, I mean, it's literally where professionals buy apartment complexes and then allow single investors to buy, in essence, ownership. And so they get some of the money coming out of it. Right. So that's one way of doing it. If you don't want to like take a hands-on approach and own the building yourself, you can buy into REITs.
Right.
So it's more like a stock purchase. But when it's coming time to like buy into multifamily, the transition usually gets to the point where, well, let's put it this way, a lot of people ask how many doors you have.
Right. How many doors do you manage in? Doors do you own? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So the question is, at what point is it better to have one roof and many doors versus many doors and many roofs?
Oh, that's a great one. It's like a riddle. It's like a puzzle. I don't know the answer. Like, what's the sound of one hand clapping? I don't know. What is that?
Well, that's going to, I mean, for everyone, that's going to be in different numbers.
Okay.
But it eventually gets to the point where you can keep owning single families, and that's fine. Some people make their entire investing career out of that. But at some point, I mean, every single one of those single families has its own roof, its own siding, windows, doors, bathrooms, and whatnot.
Right.
Versus if you have one multifamily, you have one roof, one exterior, and then you have quantities of the same thing throughout.
Right.
So like, let's say in a single family, you'll have an oak kitchen here, and the next house you bought has a
totally
painted white, whatever, whatever. So to fix those, you have to go purchase brand new products.
Yep.
Versus a multifamily, they're all golden oak.
I just got it. As you said that, I thought of Southwest Airlines, right? Where they all have 737s and like all the parts are, like they only have to stock a certain kind of part because all the planes are the same, and so I totally get it. Okay.
So that's one of the benefits of it is instead of having to have all those misfit little here and there, is all of a sudden it's uniform. You know exactly what paint color is going to be. You know exactly what carpet's going in. You know exactly where to get your appliances from. And you can do that with single family too, but I mean, with a multifamily, just a little bit easier.
Right.
Jumping into multifamily, like the last group I helped purchase their first multifamily, they had experience in single families. They were flipping some properties to grow cash, but then they had rentals, and they were just looking for kind of something that's easier to jump into. So in this case, it was actually a 55 and older community.
Oh, nice. Yeah, nice.
Which literally you just have to maintain that 80% of the population is 55 plus.
Okay. That's great. Yeah.
They're a little bit lower maintenance on some things because you don't have to worry about big loud parties.
Right.
Typically only had one car piece, so you didn't have to have ton of extra parking.
Right.
And they took good care of the units. I mean, one of the units had been lived in for like 30 years continuous.
Wow.
So they knew that they had good tenure and they had experience in the singles up to duplex, triplex, but this was their first jump. So There were some things different. Like, first of all, you need to have all those keys.
Right.
So you just have to, there's a few things to keep track of. You have the heating systems.
Right.
You know, you can call an HVAC guy to come service a furnace, but when you get into multifamily with bigger boilers, there's a few more things. There's different inspections. So like boiler systems in my state actually have to have an inspector come every year to make sure that the system's working right and someone isn't neglecting them. But at the same time, you know, it's better to get 18 checks, let's say, versus one.
Right.
So some people are going to start paying a little early. Some people are always going to be a little late. Some people pay it on the day. But that's, you have to organize all of that. So there's a few more steps to it in that way, but it runs almost the exact same.
Got it.
As far as buying a single family, it's just that you have more of it.
What other nuances do you start to see in multifamily that you don't see in single family?
So one thing is property maintenance is one thing, and management is another.
Got it. Yep.
So some companies will do all the book work, and another company might actually do the maintenance and repair work.
Okay.
That can happen in single family too, but it can be separate in multifamily. So you're gonna have to pay attention to that. And then fire codes. You're now providing multi-residence, so you're going to have a different set of fire codes, and that's different every city. So I can't go too deep into that.
Right.
Where we're talking fire extinguishers, carbon monoxide, smoke alarms, fire suppression systems, possibly automatic closing doors.
Right.
So
I really feel like there's a group of people who are going to do it themselves, and then there's a group of people who are like, I don't want to do any of that. Like, do you find it in the pool of multifamily investors that it's more one or the other? Like, it's more people that are doing it, managing all that themselves, or more people outsourcing?
So an older generation, I will say, because a lot of the ones I see coming on the market are owned by people who are trying to sell off their investments and go snowbird or retire.
Right. Yeah.
They manage their own, but they only maybe have one building. So anywhere from 6 to maybe 20 units. Okay. Yep. But a lot of times I see it's groups of investors, buying.
Right.
So I would say people who've had them or been investing in them for 20, 30 years might do it themselves. But a lot of the new buyers are groups or syndications, which is the same thing, but so it's kind of a little bit of a changing, but I think more people now understand that you can make great money investing in multifamily. Yeah. Versus before, people saw those big price tags and, oh man, all those issues that you could have. Because a single family house, you can go work on yourself. Yeah. And, you know, you own a home. So kind of experience some of it, but you probably haven't worked with a commercial boiler or had to figure out electrical when every single room is run a little different. Haven't had to deal with a steel roof, potentially, commercial grade steel roof or siding. So it is a little different, but it's really up to personal preference. There's no reason you can't do it yourself. It's just, where's your time better spent?
Can you do a 1031 from single families into a multifamily, or is that not like kind property?
No, you can definitely do that. It's still investment property where you're looking at cash flowing plus maintaining a mortgage. So absolutely, you can 1031 exchange.
Can you do multiple single families on a sale into one 1031 exchange into one multifamily?
If you can find a portfolio buyer, someone who will, if you can find a group to take over all your investments, you only have 90 days from the time of sale.
Oh, I got it.
To have what you're rolling into under contract.
Got it.
So it's possible, because what'll happen is sometimes some of the retirees, we'll call them, will actually sell 10 houses all at once.
Got it.
And they'll just say, hey, you know, we're not dropping the price individually. We're just taking their rents 10 times forward, and that's what you get.
Got it. Yeah, because if you did individual sales, one closing date might be different than another, and that would mess up your 1031 window of 90 days.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. And one might not make it. One, you know, so usually they sell them in bulk, so they know that they're going to overpay a little bit on some and underpay on others. And,
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So,
so
yeah,
cool.
it's just, I mean, it is something you need to know more about,
Yeah.
But it's kind of like you have to get on the bike and try, even if
Right.
you have training wheels.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Because
I love
the
it.
nice thing is like the lender is going to give you what they need. So there might be environmental paperwork. They might have to do a site assessment knowing, was this ever a gas station once upon a time or whatever. I mean,
right.
It's not crazy stuff, but the nice thing is the bank will help you. If you're using a real estate agent, they can help you a lot.
Right.
Because they'll help you negotiate and do all that.
Right.
But the nice
by the way, it's so convenient that you do that. Bill, hey everybody, Bill is a real estate agent. He can help you do that.
Yes, no, it helps. It really does. Because
right.
The nice thing about it is when there's that many rooms, you're not necessarily like a house. You go into every single room of the house. You're checking trim. You're checking to see if the bathroom's leaking. Multifamily, they care, but they know the condition's going to be a little bit different. So
good point.
So you don't dig into it as much, but
I love it. Is there anything else, like when you think about moving from single family and stepping into multifamily investments, anything else that comes to mind and that people should know, like to kind of get started?
Well, definitely I would say like continuing education, just read about a little bit, or if there are classes online, Bigger Pockets, some of these resources to just get you ready for what to be prepared for.
Yeah.
But really, you can start small or go in with someone else, because the nice thing with these is that the multifamily, because of how many numbers you can get, it can truly, truly pay a lot more.
Yeah.
With less liabilities.
Yep.
So it's a really good way to start scaling forward, because one property tax, one utility bill, one roof, one management company versus 10 houses, 10 roofs, 10 insurances. So it really just kind of simplifies that, and then it can increase the ROI. So your same $200,000 down payment now is producing $5,000 a month versus
that's a really good point. Yeah.
500.
Well, I think I also want to add to the conversation that in addition to continuing education or different things, books you can read, resources you can listen to, I really feel like having a conversation makes this super tangible. Like when you can get very specific about these are my assets, this are my resources, this my concerns, but my goals, and talk to somebody like Bill. Right? I'm throwing you out there now, Bill, as somebody that could be a resource. But I really feel like if you're really going to take on something this big, it's good to have a plan. And I feel like having a conversation is the best way to create that plan.
Absolutely.
So if people want to create that plan with you, if they want to explore how to move from single family to multifamily with you, where can they go?
So just check out my website, BillDeanHomes.com, and go into my comment section and just send me a note and I'll get a hold of you.
Awesome. Good stuff, Bill. Wow, that's good stuff, man. I learned something every time. Thanks for bringing wisdom and teaching us how to level up our investment portfolio. I love it. Until next time, Bill.
Take care. Have a good one.
Yeah.